All right, our next guest knows all about fighting the war on terror in the Mideast. GOP Senator Dan Sullivan is a retired colonel in the Marine Corps Reserve and sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee. Senator, I saw you came out and you put out a statement right away. I believe it through a tweet. You think we need some action. You said the president needs to order a clear, lethal, and overwhelming response that demonstrates to Iran and to the world that whoever targets our men and women in uniform or supports these attacks will face the full might of the U.S. military. Yeah. It seems to me you're saying enough with the militias. Go get Iran.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian. And look, first, it's a somber morning, right? You already mentioned it. 3 U.S. service members killed.
We knew this was coming.
Dozens wounded. Navy SEALs killed 2 weeks ago. So I think the big issue is we got to reestablish deterrence with regard to Iran. Exactly what you just said. In the broader context is important. Think about it. The Trump administration comes in with their strategy after the Iranians who are killing Americans with impunity prior to the Trump administration coming in, and they reestablish deterrence with a very aggressive strategy of massive sanctions against their oil and gas sector, getting out of the JCPOA, killing Soleimani, which was really important, the Quds Force commander, but also launching a peace initiative in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords. Biden comes in and literally reverses all of that, all of it, including the Houthis on the terrorist list, and we're seeing the result. More Americans killed, wars in the Middle East. The appeasement policy of the Biden administration has completely failed. They need to reestablish deterrence.
And it's making our allies nervous. Are we with the right guys? Here's what John Kirby said on another network on the Today Show about a half hour ago.
We're taking a look real hard at what the options need to be for a response. And I won't get ahead of the president, but I can tell you that he takes very, very seriously our obligation to defend ourselves, our troops, and our facilities in the region. We've communicated directly to Iran what we expect here to see. Obviously, these attacks keep coming. We'll keep looking at the options. I can't speak for the Supreme Leader or what he wants or he doesn't want. I can tell you what we want. What we want is a stable, secure, prosperous Middle East, and we want these attacks to stop. That means we've got options here ahead of us, and we're going to have to work our way through that.
Senator, we always are reacting. We never are on our front foot. In Ukraine, we're reacting.
Yep.
With the Hamas attacks, we're reacting.
Yep.
We're upset the way the aggression of Israel. We're reacting again. Houthi rebels shut off the Red Sea. We're reacting. When are we going to get on the front foot, and how do we establish that?
Well, I think our enemies certainly smell weakness out of the White House. There's no doubt about it. The Afghanistan withdrawal was the signal that the authoritarian regimes are on the march. You describe it, Ukraine, Israel. Look, the way you reestablish deterrence with Iran is to follow the Trump administration playbook. So that is kinetic, meaning military action, against their targets that hurt them the most. Avoid civilian casualties. The civilians actually in Iran are many of our allies. Go after leadership, oil and gas facilities, Navy shipping. I guarantee you the Pentagon has a ton of targets. But, Brian, there's another area, too. The non-kinetic. We should be reimposing sanctions on the oil and gas sector, on their ballistic missile sector. Let me give you one statistic. End of the Trump administration, Iran had about $4 billion in foreign reserves. That's not a lot, okay? Biden comes in, lifts sanctions. They're exporting oil like crazy, natural gas like crazy. Their foreign reserves right now are north of $70 billion. The Iranians, that's what they're funding these terrorist proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis with. That's what you need to do for a comprehensive, strategic, long-term policy of reestablishing deterrence. Is not easy. The Trump administration did it. Biden's been weak. They got to redo this.
Right, and we're considering slow-walking weapons deliveries to Israel because we don't like what's going on in Gaza. At the same time, we're paying the brunt on these military hits because we just don't want to protect our people.
Look, one more important thing on that. Sorry, the worst thing the Biden administration could do right now, and I worry they might, is in reaction to this say, hey, we're going to put more pressure on Israel, right, in terms of what they're doing in Gaza. That would be a disaster.
Yeah, because it shows that this works.
Exactly.
And just hitting the militias would be a big mistake, too. Senator, I'll talk to you more on this on radio.
Great to see you in person.
All right.